I'm 42. Married for 11 years. 2 kids. A dog that sheds everywhere. A mortgage that keeps me up at night. Until recently, I would have told anyone who asked that my life was normal. Not perfect, but steady. The kind of life you complain about but secretly feel lucky to have. My wife, Lena, and I met in our late 20s. She was sharp, funny, a little guarded. I liked that. We built something that felt real, shared routines, inside jokes, quiet nights on the couch after the kids went to sleep. We fought, sure, but nothing that felt unfixable. I trusted her in that deep, boring way you trust someone after years together. She used to visit her mom a lot. Her mom lives about an hour away. Sometimes overnight, sometimes just an afternoon. I never questioned it. They're close. Or I thought they were. Her mom adored me, always telling me how lucky Lena was, how solid our marriage seemed. I ate that up more than I should have. Looking back, life felt normal because I wanted it to. I was busy with work, with being a dad, with keeping things afloat. I ignored the small disconnects. The way Lena seemed distracted. The way she guarded her phone like it contained state secrets. The way she'd come back from her mom's place relaxed in a way that didn't match family visits. But at the time, I told myself I was paranoid. That marriage settles into quiet. That love doesn't always look loud. I had no idea that while I was folding laundry and packing lunches, my wife was living a completely separate life, one that existed behind a lie so simple I never thought to question it. That lie was, "I'm going to see my mom." And it unraveled everything. When I think about the early days, I feel stupid for how much I trusted the narrative I wanted. Lena and I didn't have a dramatic love story. It was gradual. Comfortable. We grew into each other. That felt safer than fireworks. There were red flags, I guess. I just didn't call them that at the time. Lena was always private, but over the years it became secrecy. She'd tilt her phone away from me. Passwords changed. Notifications turned off. If I asked who she was texting, she'd say, "Just a friend," with this tight smile that made me feel like I'd crossed the line just by asking. Our sex life slowed down. Again, I told myself that was normal. Kids, stress, aging bodies. When we did have sex, it felt rushed, almost obligatory. She stopped looking me in the eyes. I noticed. I didn't say anything. Her trips to see her mom became more frequent. At first, it was once a month. Then twice. Then sometimes every weekend. She'd pack a small overnight bag, kiss the kids, tell me not to wait up. I'd joke about her choosing her mom over me. She'd laugh, but it never reached her eyes. Her mom would call sometimes, chatty as ever. "You're such a good husband," she'd say. "Lena's lucky." That should have been comforting. Instead, it started to feel off. Like we were talking about two different realities. I ignored my gut because acknowledging it meant risking everything. It meant admitting my marriage might not be what I thought it was. So I swallowed the unease, smiled, and kept telling myself that trust is a choice. I didn't realize trust can also be a blindfold. The doubt didn't arrive all at once. It crept in sideways. One night, Lena came home later than usual from her mom's. She smelled different. Not perfume, something cleaner, like hotel soap. I remember thinking that was a weird detail to notice. She hugged me quickly, like she was checking something off a list, then went straight to the shower. I asked how her mom was. She hesitated. Just a second too long. "Fine," she said. "Same as always." I started noticing inconsistencies. Her mom mentioned events Lena supposedly attended that she hadn't told me about. Or didn't mention at all. Once, I casually brought something up. "Oh, when you and Lena went to that restaurant near your place." And there was silence on the other end of the line. Then her mom laughed awkwardly and changed the subject. My chest tightened. I told myself it was nothing. That I was overanalyzing. Then there was the receipt. I was cleaning out the car and found it shoved between the seats. Hotel parking. Dated one of the nights she'd said she was staying with her mom. I stared at it for a long time, feeling like the ground was tilting. I confronted her lightly at first. Hey, I found this. Did you park at a hotel near your mom's? She didn't miss a beat. Oh yeah, we met a friend there for lunch. Parking's weird. It sounded reasonable. Too reasonable. I wanted to believe her so badly that I let it go. But something inside me cracked. Once a doubt gets in, it doesn't leave quietly. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying every "I'm going to see my mom" in my head, like a broken recording. For the first time, I wondered what would happen if I stopped trusting her story. I was terrified of the answer. The turning point came in the most mundane way possible. A dead phone battery. Lena asked to borrow my charger because hers wasn't working. She left her phone on the kitchen counter while she went to shower. I didn't plan to look. I swear I didn't. I just saw the screen light up. A message preview. Same room as last time. Miss you already? My heart dropped so hard I thought I might pass out. I stood there frozen, staring at her phone like it was a live grenade. Every instinct told me not to touch it. That some doors can't be closed once opened. I picked it up anyway. There were dozens of messages. Hotel names. Room numbers. Photos I wish I could erase from my brain. Not graphic, but intimate. Familiar. Things she hadn't said to me in years. I felt like I was watching my own life from outside my body. Like this couldn't possibly be happening to me. To us. When she came back into the kitchen, towel around her hair, I was sitting at the table with her phone in my hands. She knew immediately. Her face strained of color. Explain, I said. My voice didn't sound like mine. She opened her mouth, closed it, then started crying. Not quiet tears. Ugly, panic sobs. It's not what you think, she said, which is exactly what people say when it's exactly what you think. I asked one question. Every time you said you were seeing your mom? She nodded. That was it. No more lies. Just the truth landing like a bomb between us. The revelation didn't feel dramatic in the way movies show it. There was no screaming at first. Just this heavy, crushing silence broken by her crying and my own heartbeat roaring in my ears. She told me his name. She told me it had been going on for almost 2 years. 2 years of hotel rooms and rehearsed lies. 2 years of me tucking our kids into bed alone while she was with someone else. I asked why. I don't even know what answer I was hoping for. She said she felt lonely. Unseen. Like she'd lost herself in motherhood and routine. He made her feel alive. Hearing that hurt more than the sex, if I'm being honest. Because it meant my love wasn't enough. I asked about her mom. Does she know? No, Lena whispered. She thinks I'm with you. She thinks we're happy. That detail gutted me. Her mom, this sweet woman who praised our marriage, was completely in the dark. Lena had built this double life so cleanly that even her own mother was a prop in the lie. I felt embarrassed. Ashamed. Like I'd been made a fool of. I kept thinking about all the times I defended Lena to friends when they joked about marriage being a trap. All the times I said, "No, we're solid." I remember saying, "So every time you hugged me goodbye, you were going to him." She didn't answer. She just cried harder. That was the moment something in me broke for good. After the initial shock wore off, everything turned messy fast. I yelled. I said things I can't take back. I asked for details I wish I hadn't. Where? How often? Did she love him? Each answer felt like another knife, but I couldn't stop asking. I needed to understand the shape of the betrayal, even if it destroyed me. She tried to justify it. Not aggressively, but desperately. She said it didn't mean she didn't love me. That it was compartmentalized. That the hotels were a way to escape, not replace. I laughed at that. A hollow, ugly sound. You escaped into another man's bed, I said. What exactly did you think would happen? She begged me not to tell anyone. Not yet. Especially not her mom. It would kill her, she said. That almost broke me again. The idea that I was expected to carry the secret. To protect her image while my insides were on fire. I slept on the couch that night. I stared at the ceiling until morning, replaying our entire marriage like a crime scene. Every smile felt suspect. Every memory contaminated. The kids woke up like nothing had changed. They wanted breakfast. They wanted cartoons. I made pancakes with shaking hands, wondering how I was supposed to keep being a dad while my life was collapsing. Lena acted like we were in some fragile truce. She kept saying, "We can fix this." I didn't answer. I didn't know if there was anything left to fix. All I knew was that the woman I trusted most had been lying to my face, over and over, without flinching. And I didn't know how to live with that. The emotional impact hit me in waves. Some days I felt numb, like I was moving through water. Other days, the anger was so sharp it scared me. I'd snap over nothing. I'd grip the steering wheel so hard my hands hurt. I questioned everything about myself. Was I boring? Unattractive? Too focused on work? Not affectionate enough? I replayed every argument, wondering if I'd pushed her into someone else's arms. Intellectually, I knew her choices were hers. Emotionally, I felt complicit. Sleep became impossible. When I did sleep, I dreamed about hotel hallways. Identical doors stretching forever. I'd wake up sweating, heart racing, convinced she was gone again. I checked her location obsessively. I hated myself for it, but I couldn't stop. Trust was gone, and without it, I felt unmoored. She said she ended it with him. She showed me messages. Blocked numbers. Promised transparency. But every promise sounded like the one she'd already broken. Her mom called one afternoon, cheerful as ever. "How's my favorite son-in-law?" she asked. I almost told her. The words sat right behind my teeth. But I didn't. I felt like I was lying too now, part of this messed-up conspiracy. I started seeing a therapist. I didn't tell many people why. Just that I was stressed. It felt safer than saying, "My wife cheated on me every time she pretended to visit her mother." There's a special kind of loneliness in carrying someone else's secret. It eats at you from the inside. The confrontation didn't end in one night. It stretched on for weeks, bleeding into every corner of our lives. We argued quietly at first, late at night when the kids were asleep. Then louder. Accusations flew. She accused me of emotional distance. I accused her of cruelty. We both cried. We both said we were hurting. She wanted couples therapy. I agreed, mostly because I didn't know what else to do. Sitting in that room, explaining our marriage to a stranger, felt surreal. When the therapist asked about trust, I almost laughed. Lena cried a lot in those sessions. She talked about shame, about hating herself for lying. About feeling like two different people. I listened, but something in me stayed cold. At one point, she asked if I still loved her. I said I didn't know. That answer hurt her more than any insult I could have thrown. The hardest conversation was about the kids. What they'd notice. What we'd say if things ended. The idea of splitting holidays, of not seeing them every day, made my chest ache. Friends started noticing the tension. We stopped posting photos together. Stopped showing up as a unit. People asked questions. We gave vague answers. Her mom invited us for dinner. Lena panicked. She didn't want to go. "I can't face her," she said. That was when it really sank in. Her lie had grown so big it controlled everything. Not just me. Not just her. Everyone. I started to wonder if staying meant accepting a life built on damage control and half-truths. And I didn't know if I was strong enough for that. The consequences weren't immediate explosions. They were slow erosion. I stopped feeling safe in my own home. Every quiet moment felt tense, like we were both waiting for something to snap. I caught myself pulling away physically. A flinch when she touched me. A step back when she leaned in. Intimacy became complicated. When we tried, I couldn't get him out of my head. The hotels. The secrecy. I felt replaced, then ashamed for feeling that way. My work suffered. I missed deadlines. Zoned out in meetings. My boss asked if everything was okay. I lied. Again. I started drinking more at night. Not to get drunk, just to quiet my thoughts. I knew it wasn't healthy. I didn't care. The kids sensed something. They always do. They became clingier. Asked why Mom and Dad didn't laugh as much anymore. That guilt crushed me. Lena tried hard. I'll give her that. She was present. Attentive. Almost overly so. It felt like she was auditioning to be my wife again. But every effort reminded me of what it took for her to try this hard. I eventually told my brother. Saying it out loud made it real in a new way. He was furious on my behalf. Told me to leave. Told me I deserved better. I wasn't sure what I deserved. I just knew I was tired. Tired of replaying lies. Tired of being vigilant. Tired of loving someone I didn't trust. The marriage didn't collapse overnight. It just sagged under the weight of what it had become. The breaking point came unexpectedly. We were arguing about something stupid, groceries, I think. She said, "I've done everything you asked. What more do you want?" I said, "I want to not feel like an idiot in my own marriage." She went quiet. Then she said softly, "I can't undo it." And that was it. Something about that sentence. The finality of it. The truth. She couldn't undo 2 years of deception. And I couldn't unknow it. I told her I needed space. Real space. Not sleeping on the couch. I moved into the guest room, then eventually into a small apartment nearby. Telling the kids was brutal. We kept it vague. Mom and Dad need time to figure things out. They cried. I cried after. Her mom still didn't know. Lena begged me not to tell her yet. I agreed, though it felt wrong. Like I was complicit in protecting the lie that started all of this. Living alone was strange. Quiet. Painful. But also, calmer. I could breathe without constantly scanning for emotional landmines. Lena wanted reconciliation. I wasn't sure. Some days I missed her terribly. Other days I felt relief. People think betrayal is a single event. It's not. It's a series of aftershocks that keep hitting long after the initial damage. And I was still standing in the rubble, trying to decide whether to rebuild or walk away. Time didn't heal things the way people say it does. It just made the pain more familiar. Lena and I kept talking. Sometimes it felt productive. Sometimes it reopened wounds. She wanted certainty. I couldn't give it. I finally told her mom. Not out of spite, but because the lie was suffocating me. Her mom cried. A lot. She apologized to me, which felt wrong. None of it was her fault. That conversation changed things. Lena was devastated. Angry. She said I betrayed her trust by telling her mom. I stared at her, stunned by the irony. Co-parenting became the focus. We were careful. Polite. Almost professional. The kids adjusted better than I expected, which somehow hurt more. I tried dating. It felt wrong. Like I was cheating on a ghost. I stopped. Therapy helped, but slowly. I learned that betrayal messes with your sense of reality. That my hypervigilance wasn't weakness, it was a response. Lena asked if I thought we'd ever get back together. I told her honestly. I don't know if I can love you without hating what you did. She cried. I didn't. That scared me. We never officially divorced. We also never truly reconciled. We exist in this gray area that's hard to explain. Some days we function like friends. We laugh. We share memories. Other days, there's an invisible wall between us, thick with everything unsaid. I still think about the hotel rooms. About how easy it was for her to lie. About how her mom thought we were happy while I was being quietly dismantled. I've learned that love doesn't always survive truth. Sometimes it survives convenience, habit, fear. But truth? That's harder. I don't hate Lena. That surprises people. I just don't trust her. And without trust, love feels theoretical. The kids are okay. That's what matters most. I show up. She shows up. We do our best. As for me, I'm still processing. Still grieving the marriage I thought I had. Still trying to forgive myself for not seeing it sooner. If there's a lesson, it's not a clean one. Sometimes the person you trust most is capable of hurting you in ways you never imagined. And sometimes, the hardest part isn't leaving, it's accepting that staying won't fix what's broken. I replay the signs now like a checklist. The phone. The trips. The emotional distance. It all seems obvious in hindsight. At the time, it was just life. I don't know if I would do anything differently. Maybe I'd listen to my gut sooner. Maybe I'd ask harder questions. Or maybe I'd still choose trust, because that's who I was. People ask if I regret not leaving immediately. I don't have a good answer. Staying taught me things leaving wouldn't have. It also cost me things I can't get back. I've stopped waiting for closure. I don't think it exists the way we want it to. There's just acceptance, slowly earned. Lena and I are different people now. Changed by what happened. Maybe that's the real consequence. I don't tell this story for sympathy. I tell it because secrets rot you from the inside. Because pretending everything's fine doesn't make it true. And because somewhere out there, someone else is being told, I'm just going to see my mom. And feeling that same quiet unease. Listen to it. I still have moments of doubt. Moments where I wonder if I was too harsh. Too unforgiving. Then I remember the scale of the lie. The effort it took. The ease with which she looked me in the eye and said goodbye. Forgiveness is complicated. It's not a switch. It's a process, and I'm not sure where I am in it. Some nights, I miss the simplicity of before. The illusion. Then I remind myself it was never real. I've learned that being faithful isn't just about not cheating. It's about honesty. About respect. About not making your partner feel crazy for trusting you. I'm trying to rebuild my sense of self. Who I am outside of being a husband. Outside of betrayal. It's slow. But it's mine. If you're reading this and you're in a marriage that feels off, I won't tell you what to do. I won't say leave, or fight harder. I don't have answers that clean. I will say this: don't ignore your reality to protect someone else's comfort. Don't carry secrets that aren't yours. And don't confuse familiarity with safety. I'm still standing in the aftermath. Still figuring out what the rest of my life looks like. Some days are okay. Some days aren't. But at least now, I know the truth. And as painful as it is, it's better than living in a lie I never agreed to.